Well, the latest installment of the Twitter files, this is Twitter File 6, that was dropped last night, and our awesome correspondent, Sarah Williamson, has all the details. Some very interesting things in this one, showing a little more collusion, right?
Absolutely. It's been very interesting indeed. Now, part 6 of the Twitter files is all about the FBI. Now, between January 2020 and November 2022, over 150 emails were sent between the FBI and former Twitter Trust and Safety Chief Yoel Roth, who has been at the centre of the Twitter files scandal since the very beginning. Now, the FBI have their own social media task force, which just happened to be set up after the 2016 presidential election. Now, it's a team of 80 agents corresponded with Twitter to identify alleged foreign influence and election tampering of all kinds. And, well, their contact was constant and pervasive. But from what Matt Taibbi has presented, most of their accounts that the FBI are requesting to be taken down, well, they're just simply satire. Now, when you look back at it, the FBI weren't even trying to hide their involvement with what they are calling election-related threats, setting up a hotline and asking people on Twitter to report any accounts that they may deem a threat. Now, Taibbi posted a number of letters from the FBI to their Twitter contacts with a list of accounts that they think that they should shut down, most of them having minimal engagement and not a lot of reach. And as I mentioned, they were satire accounts. And for what makes this even worse is that Twitter employees seem to be proud of their efforts. In one case, Twitter employees congratulated each other for what they were calling a monumental undertaking. So to sum it all up, Matt Taibbi, he likens this collaboration to the so-called deep state, saying it really was just a tangled collaboration of state agencies, private contractors, and sometimes state-funded NGOs here. So that was part 6, but he did say that we need to be keeping our eye out for more installments that will be coming very soon.
He likes these Friday nights, it seems like, these Friday night dumps.
Exactly.
And he said that he might only have a little bit more to go, so it'll be interesting to see.
Exactly. Well, he said that he named 2 reporters, so it looks like we might have at least 2 more to go.
All right. Well, keep us posted. Great to see you, Sarah. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And everybody, well, on January 8th, 2021, former President Trump was swiftly banned from Twitter soon after January 6th. In the 5th installment of the Twitter files, the one right before what Sarah was just talking about, those files released by Elon Musk, journalist Barry Weiss revealed that multiple top executives and staffers at Twitter pushed to ban Trump's account, despite the fact that there were really no policy violations in Trump's tweet. Joining us now to discuss all of this is former White House advisor for the Trump administration, and my friend, there he is, the host of the Gorka Reality Check, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Dr. Gorka, you know, before we get to this with Twitter, I want to just get your take on this news that it looks like on Monday, this will be, of course, the January 6th committee sort of final meeting. They are expected to vote, and there's reports that they will be voting potentially on as many as 3, possibly even more, criminal charges against President Trump and referring them then to the Justice Department. This is amazing. Insurrection, obstruction of official proceedings, also some other charges. What's your reaction to the fact that it looks like they're going full steam ahead?
Well, Rita, I'm not sure I buy these reports. I just found out 2 days ago that after a year of Nancy Pelosi trying to subpoena my phone records, the phone records of my wife and my children for her January 6th witch hunt, very quietly, they just dropped that request to subpoena my records. So I think they might be a little bit worried that the House is now going to be in Republican hands as of January. So they may do this, they may not, but really at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they've been trying to destroy President Trump for 6 years, and everything they've tried to do has failed, from the Billy Bush tapes to the first impeachment, the second impeachment, the Mueller probe, the Southern District of New York attacks against his family and his company. They've tried to bring the king down again and again and again, and they failed. So if they do it, they're insane. If they don't do it, it means that they are worried. that's what is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what they do and also what DOJ does. As we've seen, I think DOJ has been very political in a lot of their decisions, too. So they may go forward with it, which would be at least something else to keep President Trump busy. He's got enough other legal things he's dealing with, but that would be another slings and arrows coming at him.
Well, look at what you've just heard with the latest Twitter files drop from Elon Musk. I've had several times on my national radio show, America First, this very brave FBI whistleblower, Kyle Serafim. And when you listen to a suspended FBI agent who's suspended because he reported corruption inside the FBI, telling you that the FBI doesn't even have enough manpower just to go after the child exploitation and child pornography cases across the nation, but they've got time to tell Twitter to shut down parody comedy accounts. I mean, this is just how insanely politicized the Department of Justice and the FBI have become. When we actually have real threats to your security, to my security, but instead, in Pennsylvania, they send a 24-man team with loaded rifles in full flak jackets to arrest a pro-life speaker in front of his 7 children on a misdemeanor charge that was actually dropped in a federal court 4 months previously. The FBI has to be dismantled. It has become a Gestapo political arm of the DNC, and we have to give its mission sets to other agencies because it is unsalvageable, Rita.
And, you know, to that point, House Minority Speaker, soon to be, it looks like, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, he announced that there will also be an investigation to not only look into, but to subpoena the 51 U.S. intelligence officials. Those are the ones who call the Hunter Biden laptop story Russian disinformation. Where do you see this heading? Do you think that that basically is maybe a reckoning? Because where did they get that information? We're now finding out the FBI actually had a copy of the laptop at that time. So how could it be, quote, Russian disinformation? I think it's important we get to the bottom of that. Don't you agree?
Well, we have to, but we're very limited in the next 2 years because we don't have the Senate. Conservatives only have the House. The only power we have is the power of the purse. We haven't seen any aggressive subpoena use by the Republicans in years. Remember, Lindsey Graham for 5 years has been saying, I'm going to subpoena the DOJ. I'm going to subpoena the FBI. He did nothing. He's an absolute coward. So, Jim Jordan's a tough guy. He's going to be chairman of the Judiciary Committee. Maybe we'll see some action there. I know Matt Gaetz wants to get serious in terms of holding people like Alejandro Mayorkas responsible for the 107,000 fentanyl deaths in the last 12 years with our open border. But finally, Rita, we have to have a complete physical draining of the swamp with a new president. And the only guy who's got the stones to do that is my former boss, President Trump. So we need to come in. We need to get rid of all these unconstitutional actors, the Vindman types, the Mueller types, the Comey types, the Brennan types, and all the people who assisted them. So come 2024, we have to get very serious about draining the swamp of those people who think they get to decide the direction of America and not the person who we elect as president.
And of course, not what the American people want too, also as well. That's important too. Dr. Gorka, always great to have you here. We always love your perspective. Thank you.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the truth. No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
Real news
for real people.